are you doing? Hope you're all doing well. So we are going to begin by hiding our eyebrows. As usual, I'm going to grab a normal glue stick and I'm just going to try and get them as flat and as smooth as possible. Next, I'm grabbing a primer. It's not really a primer, it's actually the NYX Jumbo pencil in milk, but it's the only thing I had. And you want to apply this to your eyelid. I'm then just grabbing some eyeshadow. I'm using the NYX Ultimate Brights for this. And I'm just picking up the yellow and I'm going to really pack this onto my eyelid. And I'm not worrying at all about blending out the edges because it's going to get defined with some eyeliner anyway. Grabbing the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer, I'm just going to apply this onto my brow and I'm using a dabbing motion just so I don't swipe the product away for maximum coverage. Next, I'm going to take some concealer, or you can use foundation or whatever, and just apply this to the rest of your face. Obviously, you don't have to worry about the other half. Moving back onto the eye, I'm just going to prime underneath my eye as well, and then this time I'm going to grab some red and an eyeshadow brush and just apply this. You want it to be more intense as it goes towards your eye and for it to fade out as it goes away. Moving on to the eyeliner, I'm grabbing the NYX Epic Ink Liner for this. You want to create a large wing. I'm then also creating a line near where my natural eyebrow is, and this is going to go around the yellow eyeshadow that you created. And then you want to join this onto your winged eyeliner, and then I'm creating a point at the top. I've then created kind of like a cat eye in the inner corner of my eye, and then I'm going to create some lines underneath. This is kind of shaped like a spider web almost. You want the lines to be from thick to thin as well to create a nice shape. Moving on to the cheek, I'm going to take the NYX SFX Creme colours and I'm just going to apply this like I was contouring, but I'm making it really sharp and defined, and then I'm just using my finger and I'm blending up the colour. I'm then going to apply this onto my jawline and create like a curve, and then using my finger and some white, I'm just going to dab the white in the rest of the area to fill it in and create the effect so it goes from a blue to a white. You want to use lots of dabbing motions to create a nice soft transition between the colours. I'm then doing the exact same thing onto my forehead as well. And I'm just kind of contouring my face, but in a really artistic, heavy way, I suppose. And then finally, I'm just going in with a fine brush and either a really dark blue or a black. Just really gently, I'm just going to run this along the edges or the lines. And then you want to just really gently blend out the black as well. And this is going to create depth. And then you also want to do the same with your cheekbone area as well. Just kind of paint a line and then diffuse it out and upwards. And if you're using cream paints, I think your finger is the perfect tool to blend this out. I've also gone in with some white and added this on my cheekbone area. Moving on, I'm going to grab some black eyeshadow and I'm just applying this on the outer corner of the yellow areas. And then I'm just taking the brush and I'm just literally flicking the product from out to in. This is going to create a transition from black to yellow. Try and get the colours to fade into one another nice and smoothly. Grabbing some black for your waterline, you want to apply this. I'm using the NYX False Blacks for this. Grabbing some red lipstick, I'm using the NYX Suede. You just want to apply this to half of your lip. I've also taken the same red and just applied a dot onto my nose. Then grabbing some black eyeliner or a black face paint, I'm just going to outline the lips and then I'm creating a line coming from the corner of my eye. My eye? My lips. Moving on to the eyebrow, I'm just grabbing the NYX Brown SFX Cream colour and I'm just literally going to create this really doll-like brow. So to describe it, it's positioned above my natural eyebrow and it's very, very defined and delicate. And the end of the brow is very rounded off and blunt. It arches up quite high, creating kind of like a strong expression. Moving back onto the contoured area, I'm just grabbing the brush and I'm going to create like a curl on the end. So I'm just really continuing the lines and the colours and just literally creating this curly thing. So I'm creating it so it goes from a white to a blue. And then once I was happy with that, I'm then grabbing the opposite end of a brush and some yellow and I'm creating dots at each of the end of the lines. And then finally, for the finishing touches on this side of the face, I'm grabbing a white eyeliner, which I'm using the NYX one here, and I'm just going to apply this next to the black lines. This is kind of going to separate the eyeshadow and the black lines and just create a lot more detail, make it a bit more interesting and give it some character. I'm also applying this around my jawline area next to the blue section and then around my nose and mouth as well. I'm also applying a really small hint on my lips just to create shine. Then I'm just going to take an eyeliner and outline the circles that I created. Moving on to the other side of the face, you can either use water-based or cream colours, it's absolutely fine, whatever suits you. I'm going to start forming the shape of the teeth, and they don't have to be perfect or even neat at this point, this is just a really rough shape. If you want to, you can actually grab a pencil and sketch out the shapes first if it helps. Next, I'm going to start filling out most of the rest of the face in white, and you want to grab a brush and make the split in the middle as clean and as straight as possible. Without getting any further into that, I've just grabbed some red SFX Creme colour and I've started to form the shape of the eye. I'm then taking some yellow and I'm just going to apply this on the inside areas. So I'm creating the effect so it goes from a red on the outside to a yellow on the inside. And I'm using my brush and I'm just kind of swiping around to make this fiery texture. Grabbing some red SFX Creme colour, I'm just going to outline the teeth now. This is only really roughly, it doesn't have to be great at this point either. Next, I'm grabbing some black, and this time I'm going to really start defining the shape of the teeth. And this time you want to get it neat and tidy. I'm also grabbing the same black and I'm just outlining the eye area. And then just using my brush, I'm going to diffuse the black out. And this is just kind of going to create some depth. And I'm also adding some wrinkles underneath my eye. Next, moving on to the eyebrow, I'm just going to grab a fine brush and some black and I'm literally just going to paint it on. I'm making this really high up and I'm going to try and give the impression that it's looking really sad and angry at the same time. For the nose, very straightforward, I'm just grabbing some black and creating the shape. Taking a fine brush and some red, I'm just creating these wiggly lines coming from my mouth, and these are going to be kind of like veins or something. You only want to do this really fine and small, don't overdo this step. And then just grabbing a white eyeliner, I'm just creating some highlights above some of the teeth. And then grabbing some yellow eyeshadow and browns as well. You only want to add a small hint of this. I'm just applying this to the bases of each of the teeth to make them look nice and nasty and yellow. And then moving on, I'm going to grab some black eyeshadow and I'm going to add hints here and there. So as you can see, I'm doing it in the area that's in between my nose and my eye. I'm going to apply this to my jawline area and also my forehead as well. This is just going to give it more of a dirty texture, bring it to life a little bit, and just give it a bit more of a smoky dark theme. You only want to be really gentle as well, just apply a small amount of product. A little goes a long way. Moving on to the neck and chest, I've just painted the half in white and just ignore the bow. I decided I was going to do one and then I didn't like it. For the other side, I then decided to do exactly the same marks as before, so I just applied a black line and then some blue and then some white and then blended the colours nicely so they transition from one to another very smoothly. I'm then doing the same with some red as well, and as you can see, I'm using my finger and I'm using lots and lots of dabbing motions. Dab, dabbity, dab, dab, dab. Then I've decided to create like these yellow ball things that kind of match my eye as well, so I've just gone ahead and stuck some yellow on there, and then I've added some white lines to create the same effect as I did on my face. For the other side, I'm just taking some black eyeshadow and I'm just going to contour my collarbone. To help me do this, I'm actually sticking my shoulder slightly forward so that my collarbones stick out even more, and this shall help my brush to sort of fill in the grooves. And then bouncing back onto the other side, I'm just grabbing some eyeliner and I'm just going to outline my balls. And then bouncing back onto the other side, I'm then going to add some hints of colours. So I'm going in with some reds, some yellows, use those dabbity dab 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 motions, and then just taking some red cream paint. I'm just going to create some veins using a fine brush. Contact lenses makes the biggest difference, so please insert them. Finally, for the cherry on top of the cake, I'm just grabbing quite large lashes and I'm just going to apply this onto the one side. And voila! Thank you so much for watching my video. Honestly, I'm so sick of these endings. You know what to do. Stick that thumbs up button on, hit that subscribe button and all of that good stuff. And also, follow me on Instagram. Pretty please. Please, please, please. Thank you. And finally, bye guys.
That's greatness, yeah, I gotta make it, I got things to lose, boy, just wanna get in my crew, but you can't get in my crew, me, XL, and Hubo, way too fireball, when this joint drop,